So many of us have been playing Diablo 2 for a very, very long time. Now, Diablo 2 Resurrected is an absolutely spectacular remake, but some of us long for yesteryear when there was all those crazy hacked items, so crazy overpowered, whether you're talking about the Bowa, whether you're talking about the sorceress, things like oxy rings and different things with spike gloves. But unfortunately, we can't really play any of those characters nowadays. Wait, can we? Well, it turns out we actually can, and right here I have the absolute classic multi-shot Bowa completely decked out with hacked items, and I even have some other stuff. I have it set up essentially the exact way that I had it set up, not perfectly min-max back in the day because I didn't know what I was doing, but I got my hands on a bunch of different hacked items and made a crazy, powerful character. I'm going to show you exactly what I used to rock back in the day, but this is not old Diablo 2, no. This is on Diablo 2 Resurrected. Now, first of all, the stats and skill tree, I mean, it didn't even matter because the gear is so crazy and it's the exciting part. So we're going to jump right in here and look at it. I'm going to explain kind of what I had and kind of talk about my history of playing this character. And feel free, please do actually hit the comments and let me know your thoughts, your opinions, and your memories of playing back during this time period. And we're going to jump to the weapon first. Now, this one, I had to do some funny business to get it to work in the hero editor. So it's not exactly a one-to-one. Editor Phil will slide down a picture of exactly what it looked like. But this was the amazing or the great Quark's bow. So it only actually had 2 sockets on it originally. And it had, 1043 enhanced damage. But for some reason, it only had 2 to bow skills. I don't know if back in the day you could only have 2 and maybe they raised it to where they could roll with 3. In later versions, I'm not 100% sure. But this bow had an insane amount of enhanced damage. I'm assuming a lot of it came from the jewels that were in it that were obviously hacked or something to get over 1,000% enhanced damage. I don't know exactly all the funny business this Quark guy did to go ahead and get this, but then it was duped up, and everybody had this same bow. I don't even remember how many SOJs it went for back in the day, but it was absolutely crazy. Now we'll jump down to, how about the gloves? This is another absolute classic. White gloves, and I ended up being able to recreate these perfectly right here. 100 increased attack speed, a hit recovery, it's got that damage, 90 to both dex and vitality, 100 to all res on the gloves. Obviously, no one ever thought this was legit, and it kind of weird that it just had his name was just white, right? So some other glitch or hatch thing there, and we also come over to the rings. 100% faster run walk on these white rings. Now it had 100% increased attack speed, 20 life leech, the max cold res, and lightning and fire absorb of 95. Now, obviously, I'm going to end up with way too much increased attack speed, but this is what I did because I didn't understand breakpoints. I didn't understand you could have just be wasting the stats by having too much. So I always threw on 2 white rings and the white gloves, 300% increased attack speed. Yeah, I guess it's enough, right? Here on the belt, this is one actually I didn't have. I would throw on a razor tail, but this is an old school item right here. Now, I made those funny faces because I don't know why this says the Gnasher. Isn't that like an axe or something? In the hero editor, I did not put that name in there. I don't know why it imprinted that name on here. I just made a Vampire Fang belt, switched it to unique, and for some reason it made that the name. In the hero editor, it does not say that name anywhere, but this was called Saigar's belt. And from what I understand, this one actually originally, when the game was brand newish, actually dropped from monsters, but it was called Nosferatu's Coil. This is what it originally looked like. Well, they realized it was way too broken. They actually changed Nosferatu's Coil to what it is now. And all these old Nosferatu's Coils changed from this to be called Saigar's or the Saigar's belt. So you could still have these, but they would never drop again. But if you could get these hands on them, I'm sure they got duped up like crazy. How would they even make this and think it wasn't just completely broken? I mean, maybe the -3 to light radius, they thought balanced it out, but 1 to all skills, increased attack speed. It's got the piercing just like on Razor Tail, dual leech, slow target, strength dex, all res, physical damage reduction. Now over here on Imp Shanks, I believe these were actually boots that were found, once again, originally you could have the resistances roll even higher than what they can now. That's how there's 49% on the lightning res. So 30, 30, 10, 18, 49, 35, 22 that you see with the stats there. And then they were duped to Kingdom Come by everybody. And everyone was running around and trading for these Imp Shank boots right here. Really, pretty much, they're just a really good pair of tri-res boots. I know technically some people don't consider poison res as a res. Okay, whatever, fine. They're a really good pair of boots right there. Jumping up to the amulet. Now this looks like just the High Lords, right? But you notice something a little different. Back in the day, the old school, I believe it's like 08 version of this, and that's the patch, not the year, it had walk run instead of attack speed. It also had a couple other little things different. The lightning damage was slightly different on that too. So I decided to go ahead and throw this on. This is not one I actually had. I don't remember at all what I used on my Bowa back in the day for amulet wise anyways. So, but I decided to go ahead and, hey, since we're going with duped items or just old school crazy stuff that people remember, we're going with the old school High Lords, just with the changes that it had. Now on the armor and the helmet here, these are things that are not hacked right here. I remember using legit shaft stop and vampire's gaze right here. Now they're just standard with the 20 damage reduction. The old school version could go up to 25 on the damage reduction right there. Shaft stop I think has been unchanged forever personally. Now there were some hacked items that were right here that I was going to go ahead and throw on, and we'll just do it right now for the funsies, just to go ahead and take a look at what were some of the glitched, hacked, dupe items back in the day. Right here is actually an 08 Valk. Now it's quite a bit different than the one is now. It doesn't have any skills on it. It doesn't have the mana after kill on it, but what do we add here? The increased attack speed, I believe, and the cast rate. It was very strange the way that it looked. So I went ahead and researched, looked up some pictures of what it looked like, and this is what I found. I never actually had one of these particular things right here. What I did have before, though, is Ith armor. It doesn't say Ith, and there's a long spiel about how these were created back in the day, but this is exactly what it looked like right here with increased attack speed, 140 enhanced damage, strength, dexterity, vitality, life, and all resistance. And the next big shebang bang, we'll throw that back on because I want to have this what I actually was using back in the day. I had a full inventory of these. I only did half an inventory on for this particular example, but it's still going to just absolutely wreck. We have Hexing Small Charms of Immolating Arrow. I don't know why it was named that, but they ended up 90, 90, 90 here with strength, dexterity, and vitality, and they're all identical right here. I had a full inventory of these at one point, and with all that dex, with all the strength, with all the vitality, you can go ahead and look over here, and this is just with just half an inventory, over 2,000 dexterity, 2,000 strength, 2,000 vitality, and actually, I just put the remainder of my points down here into energy, just so my energy, I had some of it right there. Now let's go ahead and take this out for a test drive and see exactly how it goes. Now the very first thing you notice is the case of the zoomies here. You run so incredibly fast, and that was important back in the day because you didn't have Enigma on every single character. Now let's just see how much damage this will do. Just players 1 difficulty right here. Shooting multi-shot, and yeah, you just kind of melt literally everything. Let's go ahead and hit another pack super quick on how this works right here. Multi-shot, 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 everything just melted, and it makes perfect sense when you have so much dexterity. Boom, 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 just hit right there. We're rocking a 400% enhanced damage on guided arrow and 300% weapon damage here for multi-shot. Unfortunately here, we do have guided arrow, but I couldn't get it to go ahead and do the unlimited pierce because that's not the way the game's made anymore. They kind of eliminated it. So it's not doing the unlimited back and forth pierce, but it's so actually just kind of crazy and fun just to kind of see this character in action again. So how does this look on a Players 8 Chaos Sanctuary? Let's go ahead and take a look. I want to find a little bit bigger pack here. And the thing is, you got to remember back in the day, I believe that they had less health, if I'm not mistaken. So really stuff was dying quite a bit faster than this. What they did is they kind of added in the synergy system, and they boosted up the life, I believe, of monsters like a ton. So even with this like huge crazy percent enhanced damage, and like I said, this is not a min-max character. I just slapped on the stuff I used back in the day when I didn't know anything of what I was doing. Now on here it says 33% chance to pierce, but nobody really knew exactly what percent chance that was. Well, at least I didn't. But really, from a personal experience, I didn't back in the day really run Chaos Sanctuary like at all. What did I do all of the time? I used to run Trav all the time. Well, actually, no, I didn't. But I decided to just come out here and test her out at Trav just because. And yeah, I threw up a Valk right there. I never used a mercenary from what I remember. I actually went ahead and maxed out Valk. I'm not exactly sure why that was. Immune to physical, unfortunate. You could have other skills to get around that, but I'm gonna be honest, I just don't feel like it. We did this right here. Ran cows all the time. Used to get a crazy amount of experience, and I actually had several 99 characters back in the day because the cows just gave you a stupid amount of experience. Now, we didn't really understand, or at least I didn't at the time, that you couldn't actually find the rarest uniques the Wind Force, the Grandfathers, and things like that, those were actually worth a lot back in the day. I didn't really know that you couldn't find them in cows. I didn't understand item level, monster area level, blah, 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 blah. So let's go ahead and jump in the cows here. Just have it on players 1. It's just kind of a fun factor. But back in the day, you used to be able to shoot out arrows, multi-shot, and it would melt all of the cows in literally the entire game. You would just shoot and run behind it, and they would all drop dead. You'd shoot, run behind it, and as fast as you could run through the game on players 8 difficulty, everything would drop dead. It's a little bit different now, obviously. This still works great. This is just players 1 cows, but back in the day, man, it's so nostalgic playing this particular character again. I haven't played multi-shot Bowa in a long time. Every once in a while, I hear them talk about how they love it. They play it still. Maybe it's something I should try here in the near future, like I said, for nostalgia's sake. But yeah, running around in cows. Besides this, I can remember back before when I was even, well, less knowledgeable in the game, I guess, before I had any good gear, running actually Nightmare Mephisto with a Necromancer because the character was so bad, I couldn't even kill hell difficulty monsters. And I don't remember what level that particular Necromancer was, but man, I was so rough at that. I actually started Diablo 2 with a Barbarian, switched to a Necro eventually, because I did get the game right after LOD launch, but man, this is kind of funny using this character, just zoomy in, running around super quick, because yeah, remembering, like I said, you don't have Enigma to teleport, and not that I knew this back in the day anyways, teleport frames on an Amazon are garbage nonetheless, so you don't really teleport with an Amazon anyways, but we have just an insanely stupid large amount of increased attack speed. Blast, blast, blast. You could always throw down a Valk, and this is what I did back in the day. Right now, I'm just melting everything, and at some point I did start melting everything, but before that, when I was using something like a Burrs, which was like the best I could get at the time with the infinite pierce thing that I talked about earlier, you'd throw down a Valk because you didn't have, you know, as many synergies, and really multi-shot just has, even right now, multi-shot and the guided arrow synergy. But yeah, back in the day, I didn't really know what I was doing with my points. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but throw down the Valk, distract them up, and blast away. Man, it is just crazy to have the character the exact way set up that I used to have back when I was, I don't know what, 14 years old. You just keep dropping that Valk anytime you want it, right where you want it. It doesn't really have to keep up at all. And just blast, 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 blast away. And yeah, this is what we did 24/7, 365, staying up all night, going to bed just before my dad's alarm would go off for work, and I didn't want him to see me. I was still up playing the game at like 5:30 in the morning still, so I'd go lay down for an hour or two, get back up, come down, start playing again. Now, if you like that nostalgic look back at the OG glitched out and hacked Amazon, let me know down in the comments, and before you go, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe up, and get that bell notification turned on so you never miss any of the future videos. Peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.